ladies, for example. That scene actually is not, the end of it was not scripted.
Well, the scene, when I first got the script, I was in Australia making a movie called Knowing, and I was reading that scene with we're cutting off the woman's oxygen supply. And I thought, well, what can I say here that might make it relevant? What is that dirty little secret that no family member really wants to admit? You know, when loved ones are in the hospital, and what would a guy on crack actually say about it? And so a lot of that was just little thoughts that I had in Australia, and then that other bit about, you're the reason this country's going down the drain. I don't know where that came from. That just came out. And I think that was in keeping with the thing we were talking about earlier with jazz, you know?
Yell it out. Did the game Grand Theft Auto actually have any influence on the movie? I think I just kind of picked that up.
Werner doesn't know what game you're talking about.
And can you talk about the reason why it was Bad Lieutenant?
Well, the title was owned by one of the producers, and I never was comfortable with it, and tried to persuade everyone to change the title into Port of Call New Orleans. I knew it would cause misunderstandings. However, and that's legitimate, in the film business, there was a consideration to start some sort of a franchise. Port of Call Detroit, Port of Call Oakland, Port of Call Houston, Port of Call, you just name it. So why not? And I feel all right as it is. The film is as we wanted to make it. And I'm proud of it, and I can live easily with the fact that we have some sort of a hybrid title. So what?
And many people seem to forget that you remade Nosferatu, which turned out great. So
yeah, it's not that much of a remake. It's more like an homage to Murnau and an homage to the films of the 1920s, the Weimar Republic, before the Nazi barbarism set in and dragged everything with it, including film culture.
What else do we have? Yes.
First of all, congratulations to both of you guys on the table. My question is for Mr. Cage. You played so obsessively with different characters in the past. How did you draw on those experiences going into this particular assignment?
So just the question was, you played some quirky and interesting characters in the past. How did you draw upon those maybe previous performances for this?
I really don't think I did. I was trying to start with a brand new canvas here and a brand new experience. You know, it's true that I at times gravitate towards injured characters in dramas. I think that they're relevant. You know, they have a bad story to tell, and you know, eventually we're all going to have to deal with some sort of tragedy in life. So I think that I find those characters characters that people can feel with and feel connected to, no matter how injured they are.
What else do we have here? Standing up in the orange there. Sorry, we couldn't hear that all. Yell it out.
How did you find Terrence's moral center, and how did it shift on you?
How did you find Terrence's moral center, and how did it shift on you?
It was something that was really in the script, you know. It was clear that I don't really like to label things like, was he a good cop or was he a bad cop? He just is. He just exists. And in the very beginning, he makes the decision to jump. He didn't really have to do that, but he did. Or even the fact that he stayed after Katrina, to me, was all I needed to keep some sense of his, if you want to call it, morality.
We just have time for one more question. Yes, there.
Hi there. I just wanted to know what you felt talking with the character after the film. It seems like your girlfriend diverged from some of her mistakes, but it doesn't really seem like she did at all. So I just wanted to know what you had in mind.
You're asking me? I think it's up to you. Your opinion of what happens to him is what's interesting, not mine. It's your own personal relationship with the story and with the characters.
But I would like to add that Nicolas Cage actually pointed out to me something that I hadn't seen as clearly before. It is a love story in a way, a strange one, but it has real substance and tenderness, and it has two persons, Eva Mendes and Nicolas Cage, who have a very, very fine texture with each other. So it's not only what the dialogue is doing and what the sequences are telling you and how they evolve. I think what is important is always some sort of a texture, something very mysterious, which you cannot explain and which you cannot fabricate.
You should say something about Ava, who couldn't be here tonight, who I thought was just effortless and so fluid. You know, that moment where she pulls the gun out of my pants and says, "You better love me," that was entirely spontaneous and improvised. And that's part of the charm of Ava Mendes, and that's why I think these characters love each other.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.